Facebook and WhatsApp.
Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.
WhatsApp,
Facebook and sometimes Twitter.
Facebook, WhatsApp and WeChat.
commonly I use Facebook.
Facebook and WhatsApp.
WhatsApp has upgraded in terms of technology a lot, and especially for the students.
Get news updates and all.
We meet different people, new people.
You get to link with some people who are from different backgrounds.
Get links and to with other pages which are affiliated for academic purposes.
Medium for mobilizing people for any movement.
It's good for connection with friends, and it helps me to touch and link each other.
Communication system today has changed drastically as compared to the one that was available just a few decades ago. The invention of the internet by Robert Kahn and Vint Cerf in 1973 is one of the technological breakthroughs that has changed our lives in so many ways, allowing us to be interconnected and knowledgeable about our world. One form of communication that has changed the way people communicate with each other is through social networking sites, and Shillong is no exception. The growing trend of these sites has immensely affected our lives, and especially young people of the state. During the course of our research, we walked across the town to interview people from different backgrounds, from government officials, students, teachers, the general public, and especially young people, about their views on the growing trend of these sites. Their views and opinions might differ, but one thing is clear: the newfound possibilities to communicate is changing our society on a deeper level.
rules and regulation is very important on the social networking sites, but I have seen that many of the students never like to read policies, rules and regulations that are being implemented, and for this reason it makes them land in some cases which is not good.
I think they've just taken for granted that, that they don't need to read this, they just make their account, and with setting privacy settings is good enough. I don't think they actually go through it, because if you can see, I think only the adults population, maybe they will get a look on those policies that you've mentioned, but I think the younger generation would just go ahead, make an account and not bother to consider reading those policies.
I don't think so, because people are very hesitant nowadays. They're going with the fast world in the fast lane, so I think they are very hesitant to know, like, just because people use that site, they use that site too. So they find it just because people say it's a good site, they use it without knowing the real details of the roots of that social network. So there might be a risk in that.
No, I don't really read my rules and regulations, because most of the apps that I get, like example WhatsApp, it's through friends, so we don't actually read the rules and regulations. Facebook, yes, maybe, but then not WhatsApp.
Most of the youths of today, they just sign Facebook just for the sake of, like, oh, it's a fun app. They just want to, put their update status and all. So basically, they don't read the norms and the conditions, which is very important, because it's such a, strong social media. So anything could happen if it's not used properly.
We usually share some thoughts, share some ideas, and sometimes we use it as a forum to discuss a few things. It may be official, it may be business. So it really helps you, you came to know of other ideas, what ideas we have, we share with them, and in the process it expands your thoughts. That is what I feel.
Personally, I don't discuss anything. It's just like making friends, and I don't share my personal information. But if it's friends from from one country to another, it's just contact information. And sometimes I'm in college right now, so if I need anything, help from them, so it's like sharing of files, and that's all.
Basically, in social networking sites, all we do is chat. We get to know people on Facebook, but through WhatsApp, we get to connect with our own people, which we don't meet daily. So our daily talks is about what happens, what are you doing and all those stuff. It's not basically very important.
Maybe commenting on pictures and liking pictures, and then as I mentioned, like I go to these links which has a lot on academic purposes. I do that, and then sometimes we have discussions on various groups and pages.
Generally, as you know, I have my business, so I normally use social media to tell people about my business, what we are doing, how it will have an effect if they also be a party to that by giving their views, their feedbacks, their reviews are very important, plus how they can participate in my business. Otherwise, the kind of sharing that I do are mostly about few things, changes in my life that my friends needs to know, especially my friends. So again, like what I choose to share with whom I choose to share is very important. So if it is personal, it is directed towards certain friends. If it is general, then it is of course on a public page, so I share it like that. So it's both for business and personal purposes.
Yeah, I think in a way it very much has. Because nowadays, especially for me, I'm a teacher, right? Now I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues, in general people who work. Like, we don't have that much time to meet friends, to socialize, But then, through these social networking sites, we get to stay in touch with them. We can chat, we can talk, or we can set up various dates to meet up and all. So in a way, for me, yeah, it has helped me.
It definitely does. Social networking sites definitely do. By virtue of them being social networking sites, they definitely affect social life, because you can either tread that fine path between learning to find more people, more friends outside, say outside the ambit, or finding more people who you can't be physically present with. And on the other hand, it also encourages xenophobia, as I said before. No? You are actually afraid of actually meeting people because you're more comfortable chatting with them, conversating with them online or so.
It takes so much time from us. Like if I open my Facebook, at least 1 or 2 hours just goes like that without knowing what I'm doing either. Just looking the pictures, updates, informations, chatting, just goes 1 or 2 hours. So of course in a day I may spend like 5 hours if I'm free, totally free. 5 hours just goes. Unnecessary informations, unnecessary updates, which is not required at all. People, they just update. My friends even, they do update. They just put, and they think that it's for fun, and they will just update some photos and then they want us to like. They will send a message or they will post it and then they will type it, just like it. Even though without knowing any reason, we just need to like, and just wasting our time and balance, or everything is just waste. That's what funny thing over there.
A guy taking selfies, a self-shot. If he posts on Facebook, no comments, no like. But a girl, if she took few selfies, right, in any angles, that means she'll get maybe 400 comments, maybe 500 likes.
Obviously, you can see upcoming talents and people having skills in various areas. They promote their own pages, they publicize their works and talents. So of course it has a positive aspect in that sense.
Yes, indeed, like I told you, it's definitely a platform. It's a very innovative platform. I think it's one of the very nicest inventions that has taken place in the recent past. And using social media to reach out to people who follow social media to find talent, I think it's a very most cost-effective, cheapest in fact, or free of cost way of publicizing, reaching to that set of people who would identify your talent. So yes, you should use social media to reach out to people with talent, who are seeking talent.
I think it is. I think it has given a lot of benefits, especially to youths nowadays who are very energetic, very creative. For example, they can, the one who may be starting their own business online in terms of clothes, production companies, or in terms of photography, art, exhibition, anything. You can expose it on the web, which can be easy access for people all over the world.
They are providing students with. There are platforms. You have advertisements. You have something called forums. It somehow encourages popular participation, especially if it's interest-centric. The student is interested in certain things, something like photography, something like, or Twitter. Twitter, you follow people. So I mean, basically, knowledge is fast. Right, knowledge is fast. So yeah, it does, but it also encourages a lot of other things which are quite. It makes you jump years. Understand? Like a 16-year-old starts behaving like 23-year-old and it creates issues.
I hope not. Actually, commonly the social networkings, it's common. Basic thing is that linking each other, but we use it. We don't link each other. We just, even though I'm sitting in one room, the next person, it will be another room, we will be chatting with each other. So in any category, it's not developing us, it's not motivating us in a different direction also. It's just nothing in these days, nothing.
Yes, indeed, it has affected definite change in behavior, change in conduct of life. During our times, of course, mobiles were not there. We came from an era where landlines were the only mode of communication. through phone you can do so many things. So while we are not engaged by or intruded by internet or mobiles in our life, we used to do other things like read, play, not play video game, but actually play football, cricket. So I don't see much of such culture prevailing right now. Kids are usually glued to their handsets or their laptops.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you will notice change, right? As time passes by, changes do occur. Basically, it's one thing, the main thing that I feel, the main reason is why it's because nowadays in a world of globalization and when the internet is available in abundance each and every corner of the world, we try to follow the Western way of life. So actually kids nowadays, they're more concerned about spending more time on the internet rather than, like for us when we were still kids, when the age of 13, 12, we usually spend our days, our evenings playing out on the streets or on the fields, on the grounds, wherever we play, right? But then kids nowadays, they hurry back home, they turn on the computers, their laptops, their iPhones, and they start, surfing the net. So yeah, in a way that you can always see a change in that field.
And what they have access to is definitely more information than what we had, which is a plus. But with more information comes more knowledge, and with more knowledge, what should actually come their way is more responsible use of that knowledge and information. But as kids, how responsible can they get is a question. They can always misuse that information. So yes, factors like advantage is more information, disadvantage is that constantly being there and actually not seeing the world which is around you. So change in behavior, both good and bad. People are more intellectual now, more smarter than probably our generation. But the flip side is that I think somewhere they are missing out on few things that were nicer, say only 10 years ago. So yeah, there is both positive and negative to the attitude of children or youngsters these days.
Yes, these social networking sites are good. They are instrumental for many purposes, but you need to be cautious about how you utilize it. You need to evaluate yourself constantly on how much you use it and for what purposes.
Yeah, for those who are underage, if you want to have an account in a social network site, please read the norms, the policies, and please go through your private settings and lock your personal info so that you won't be a victim of cyberbullying. And yeah, that's it.
Either Facebook or WhatsApp or Twitter or anything, we must know how to use it in a proper way, in a good way, to provide or to promote a good and friendly environment in the society.
The better way, like for them to use, is just like use it wiser and not misuse it. Because many people are mostly just misusing the social networking sites basically.
I suggest them to focus a bit more, not just on the social networking sites, but also upon the reality, which is much more important.
We should be very careful about the pages promoting hatred. There are many pages on Facebook which promote hatred and misogyny and everything. We should be so much aware by ourselves that we should ignore and report time to time, tell our friends to report that image or that content. This is my message.
Kaya ka ba ako ng momentajong hikalong ba? Trouble file ka na ko nasay. Kabahaswa hi ba fipay ki ang kandon ki ba ay mo to say. Bagan ka ka safety nam tajong fi security nam tajong fi. But kawiro panakam dai por.
I would like to encourage them, please, even though good if you use social networking like a Facebook and all, it's good if you use so that you can link also, but not so much. You should not be addicted in that. Be purposeful what you are doing.
My suggestion to them is that, first of all, we should know what is the terms and condition, what is the rules and regulation, so that we can use only those information, or we can share only those information which is benefited to the community.
The world is getting closer every day, and everyone wants to be connected. The future of social networking sites looks promising, but still, it has to deal with the problems associated with it. People's perception on social networking sites may have set us on high alert on how exactly we should use them, which gives us huge benefits if used effectively. But one wrong move can change our lives forever, where turning back would not be an option, and the only thing left would be regret. The choice to be wise lies in our hands.